Happening along the Texas-Mexico border. The Biden administration wanted to end Title 42 today, the policy that allowed the U.S. to immediately deport migrants seeking asylum because of COVID concerns.
But last week, a federal judge ruled Title 42 must remain in place. Governor Greg Abbott is on the border today in Eagle Pass. He held a security briefing with Border Patrol, then spoke on some of the tactics they're working on to increase security along the border.
One of those strategies is increasing the quantity and quality and the types of barriers that we're putting up. A tool that people agree is an effective tool is the concertina wire, which is the razor wire barrier that makes it, if not impossible, it makes it far more difficult for people to cross the border.
Anieli Ruiz has traveled to the border wall in La Jolla, just east of McAllen. She joins us now live. Anieli, you've been speaking with the Border Patrol Union.
Well, that's right, Mia. We spoke with the National Border Patrol Council Vice President, and he tells us that agents feel relieved that Title 42 wasn't lifted. He says they wouldn't be able to handle the influx of people crossing the border. He says the cartels usually use these large groups to tie up the agents, and as they're processing these large groups, he says that's when the cartels sneak the drugs across the border. It was a busy morning for Border Patrol agents here along the Rio Grande River in La Jolla. Dozens of migrants have crossed in the U.S. and turned themselves in. Jasmine is from Guatemala, and she tells me she's traveled 35 days with her 3-year-old son, Hector. She says she crossed to the U.S. in a raft, but says many others swam across. She's seeking asylum and says her son's father beat her, sending to the hospital. The authorities, she said, did nothing. She's looking for an opportunity to start a new life. And border agents fear that there are thousands of people just like her waiting to get in.
The hard part about it is, on the rest of the world heard that Title 42 was ending, so everybody started mobilizing, coming this way. So there are thousands of people in Mexico in stash houses.
Chris Cabrera, the vice president for the National Border Patrol Council, says the government didn't really have a plan in place to deal with this influx if Title 42 was lifted.
Truthfully, there was no plan put in place, and there still is no plan. And so once people start crowding us, we're going to be in over our heads.
Now, immigration advocates say Title 42 is no longer needed, and they say immigration law actually allows people to cross the border and seek asylum. Reporting live in La Jolla, Anieli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
Anieli Ruiz with a very important on-the-ground insight and perspective. Thank you.